Hi there, my name's Ben, and today we're going to be discussing another topic this one's perhaps a little bit out of left field. We're going to take a big tangent to go around to why it's important, but in this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of bars. That's right, you heard me, the importance of bars. Public houses, establishments that serve alcohol and food to patrons. Now, I am a little bit biased in this regard. I love to go out and socialize. I don't mind having a beer or two, and I love good food and good music. A bar provides all of this. But you may think, okay, why is it important? Why are bars important? So let me break down my thesis as to why it is. Number one, it provides the most important aspect, which is it can act as a watering hole, a social ground for people. You can play games, you can socialize with people that you either know or do not know, and it's just a place where you're not quite at home, but where you can blow off a little bit of steam in case you don't want to go home or whatever else for whatever reasons. That's not why I go to the bars, like to get away from home. But sometimes I'd like to go to my neighborhood bar, or if I'm traveling, to go out to another bar and just to meet new people and to learn. And I think this is very important for this particular reason. The reason why bars are so important, especially neighborhood bars where people gather together, it forms part of the community, and community is very, very important in anything that you do. You have to have a solid community around you. Now, you can say, but only people of a low sort hang around at the bar. Not true. Depending on the neighborhood, depending on how long the person has been going to this bar, there are quite some interesting characters and quite some successful people who end up frequenting these bars on particular days. So bars are great networking tools, especially if you just move to a place, if you are looking to expand your social circle, or even just having a good time for a night or two or five, or if you're traveling, let's say. So I think they're very, very important for that social aspect. Of course, alcohol, there are many dangers associated with it. It's not necessarily the healthiest thing for you. Tempers can flare. However, at the same time, it does act as a social lubricant. And since the dawn of time, since we've discovered alcohol has been the sharing of alcohol, especially the sharing of wine with the Romans, or beers, especially in the Middle Ages. It's almost used as not quite a rite of passage, but it's a very ceremonious thing. It's almost like sharing a meal with someone. You're having a drink with them. You're sitting down, you're discussing, and it's almost there's almost like a mark of respect and deference being given to both parties. So I think that's another huge aspect within the social one as well. But to sort of piggyback onto that, another reason why they're very important is culturally and historically speaking. There are some places like the UK in particular, or certain countries in Europe, where bar and public houses or inn culture is very, very strong, but it also forms part of the national identity. And again, this sort of piggybacks onto community. This is, a way of life for most people. Back in the day, they would till the fields, then everyone would gather to the inn or the public house or the bar, the tavern, whatever you want to call it, and everyone would relax, have a couple beers, play a couple games, solve their disputes, and national identities are forged this way. I mean, if you want two countries, for example, that, where you can say then, their national pride or one of their national symbols is beer, you look no further than the Czech Republic and Germany, of course. They, of course, have very, very huge beer cultures, and bars are essential in maintaining that sort of that, not only that social community aspect, but they're important for maintaining that cultural and that heritage aspect as well. But more so than that, I do think that bars are important, not just for that, not just for those two reasons, but also it's a place where you can, very rarely, but you still can, discover something new. You can discover a new perspective in a new way of not just of expressing yourself, but you never know who you're going to come across. And that in and of itself could be life-changing. Like, I mean, you could meet your future spouse. You could meet a new best friend, but you could also meet your end there. You could also meet someone, where you could get into a fight. You could meet someone where you're going to have an unbelievable conversation with as well. And I think that random chance element of whenever you walk into a bar, even if you're a regular patron there's always the chance that something unexpected is going to happen. And I think that maybe this is where it sort of gets a little bit wacky, but bear with me. But I think this is one of the great reasons why bars are super important. There's always that random element of chance that happens whenever you walk into a bar. You never know quite what you're walking into, even though it's a familiar place if you go there often. If it's a brand new spot, you certainly don't know what to expect as soon as you're in there. All you know is that, okay, it's a bar. I'm assuming there are certain rules that I have to follow while I'm there, and we'll see what happens. I think it's that small little fear, or rather it's that fear of the unknown, of course, which is central to humanity, right? But us going to the bar helps us to confront that. Even though we generally know what to expect. Okay, there's stools, there's a bar, there's beer taps, there's alcohol being served, there's probably food, a dartboard. We know there are going to be these things there, but I think we don't know what the exact interaction is going to be. Is it going to be really packed? Is it going to be really loud? Is it going to be really quiet? Are there people going to be interesting? Are the people going to be friendly, mean, whatever? There is all of this chaos and this unknown contained within these four walls. And I think for that reason, they're super important. So this is a little bit of a shorter one today, but I think that sort of, I don't know, it came to me as I was at the bar last night. And of course I'm visiting in Newfoundland currently, where I spent a lot of my life. So I'm coming back now and going back to these same bars that I went to. There is always that little bit of the unknown where you're going in. It's not going to be quite exactly as you remember it. It's that little bit of chaos that's corralled within those four walls. So anyway, if you think that bars are important, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you think that they could be done away with, also let me know your thoughts. Do you folks go to bars? If so, what kind of bars do you go to? And if you have any suggestions for bars when I get back to Ontario, let me know where they are, and I'll go check them out. Thank you so much for watching.